Visible thinking routine, an approach designed to make thinking process more visible in the classroom. Visible thinking is an approach and a set of teaching strategies developed by researchers at Project Zero, Harvard University in 1967. The core idea is to make thinking process more visible and tangible in educational settings, allowing children to actively engage with their own thinking and learning processes. A thinking routine is a short series of steps that guide the thought process. They are simple and easy to use. Project Zero researchers designed thinking routines to promote deep understanding, critical thinking, and metacognition to help make thinking visible. When we were growing up, every teacher came to our class and asked us to think and left the class without guiding us how to think. And thus, an in depth research of many years led to the visible thinking routines. If we look around, we will find children who have been trained to think within a boundary, either the knowledge which is imparted by the parent or the teacher. This makes them very dependent. Just take an example of a domesticated parrot. Now, once the parrot's feathers are trimmed, the five feathers are trimmed, they cannot take the flight. This prevents them from accidentally flying out on an open door or window. Gradually, with time, they are trained. So, even if they get back their flight feathers, they assume they cannot fly. Thus, thinking routines are solutions to this, where we let our children have their thinking beyond the fly. We address our little ones as thinkers, and good thinkers not only know how to think creatively, critically, deeply, they actually do it. In other words, they are in the habit of organizing, analyzing, questioning, and creating. So, we are teaching our children how to think and not what to think. At Eurokids, we are building the culture of thinking. We use the thinking language. What do you think about this? Can you ponder on this? How else could we do it? What might be a better solution for this? What do you notice? What do you think these words are? Ponder, imagination, wonder, other solution. Let us explore together. What did you learn about yourself today? All these stakeholders like children, parent, admin, staff use these practices. The language, the overall mindset develops the culture of thinking. When there are discussions, brainstorming sessions, sharing of ideas, shared learning, reflective practices, collaboration in the visible thinking routine, we are building the culture of thinking. Think Quest. Think Quest is a program that focuses on the thinking routines. A set of 20 thinking routines together form the Think Quest program. The preschoolers, PG nursery, will have 16 sessions, and the kindergartners will have 32 sessions a year. These routines are conducted separately as part of a Think Quest program and also integrated in the Lit Quest, Math Quest, and Sci Quest program. Let us understand how we've structured it. There are three levels of thinking: intro and exploration, which has 7 routines; synthesizing and organizing ideas, which have another 7 routines; digging deeper into the ideas is 6 routines. We'll delve into each one of them, explore specific examples, equip you with the practical strategies to integrate them into the classroom. These routines have been done after a pilot test in Mumbai. We have conducted 120 hours of sessions with children in schools to get an idea of what would work, how difficult it was for children or the teachers to implement it, and we've accordingly devised the entire program. Each thinking routine was conducted with the PG, nursery, junior, and senior classes. Changes, amendments, all were done. Better discussions and more discussions with evidence have been developed in the curriculum. We checked the effectiveness, and finally, the program was planned and ready for use and implement in the classroom. If you see the column, PG is doing 8 routines, nursery is doing 12 new routines, junior is doing 16 new routines, and senior is doing 20 routines. The first thinking routine is see, think, wonder. We use an image or an audio visual and we ask the children to see what the children have to see. Thinkers carefully observe the image or the object and list what they notice, focusing on details and features. A greater attention is given to detailing. Then we ask them to think. Thinkers share their thoughts, interpretations based on their observation, making connection to the prior knowledge. Then we ask the children to wonder. Thinkers here generate questions about the image or object which sparkles their curiosity and a desire to learn more. Let us see a small video that has been conducted in our school. This thinking routine. Now, if you see, these are worksheets that were done during the pilot testing and documented by the teacher. It's very important to document the thoughts of the child on the chart paper with their names. There is no right or wrong answer. Each child is different and we give them the space to feel and grow. The next routine is think, pair, and share. This is a very simple routine that can be used daily in a class setting, whenever posing questions that require listening and communication skill. The think here, children think about the question and come up with their own ideas and answers. Pair, children share their ideas with their partner, discussing different perspectives and expanding their own understanding. Share, children share the partner's thoughts and ideas with the whole class, fostering a sense of collaboration. So, for example, the teacher may give them a topic about apple. Think about the apple or think about your favorite fruit. So the child may think that his favorite fruit is apple and the other child may think his favorite fruit is mango. They pair up, they inform why they like their fruit, and then they share each other's ideas with the class. The next thinking routine is name, describe, act. Children are asked to look at an object, picture, or scene and name what they see. This step focuses on identifying and naming observable elements. For example, if presented with a picture of a park, children might name items like tree, bench, dog. Describe. In this step, children are encouraged to describe the details of what they see. They go beyond naming and provide description, such as the tree is tall with green leaves. The dog is running and has a red collar. This step helps them to articulate their observation in more details and use descriptive language. Act. The final step invites children to think creatively about how they could act or what they could do in relation to what they have observed. For example, if they see a picture of a dog, they could bark or run around. When they are talking about the tree, they could stand up tall in a Vrikshasana and say, I'm acting like a tree. This routine supports language development, observation skills, and creativity in young learners by encouraging them to engage deeply with what they see, think about, and how they interact with it. This routine can be done with an animate object and an inanimate object. Let's see a video on this.
We played the explanation game in different contexts in the classroom. We played the explanation game with a box full of artifacts to do with the postal system as a way to introduce our unit on the postal system. And what I'm trying to do is play that game in different contexts so that the children start to see that the game helps develop our thinking and our sharing of different ideas. Today, we're going to be looking at a piece of artwork done by a grade 12 student. And I want them to really start to look at what's in a painting and to also think a little deeper, dig a little deeper about what they think a painting might be about or what it might be communicating to us. I'm curious to see what kinds of things the children will say. The piece of artwork is abstract, and it'll be curious to see what they come up with. This is the piece of artwork I told you I would bring to class that somebody in grade 12 painted. Yeah, a high school student painted this painting. But before I turn around the painting, before you start to look at the painting, I want you to remember what the explanation game is. So we're going to talk about the things that we see in the painting. I want you to look carefully at the painting. Tell me what you noticed about the painting. And then you're going to guess and say why. Then you're going to try and tell me what you think the painting is about. And you tell me why you think that. All right, this is the painting that the high school student painted. Can you move your toes, Robert? Ooh, it's so big. I'm going to get a pen so that I can write down things that you say. In case you say something that we might need to remember later, I'll put it down on the paper. Okay, so tell me, what do you notice about the painting? What do you think it is? What do you see when you look at it? Fahad.
I see the black dots.
Okay, so you see black dots.
They're not dots.
Sophia.
I see some gray and the painting looks like a Dalmatian skin.
What makes you say that?
Well, Dalmatians have dots, but these are a little bit lines. Well, my Dalmatian in China has some.
Mars?
It looks like they're animals going around.
What makes you say that?
I could see a lion running.
Can you show me where you're looking on the painting? Okay, oh, I see what you mean.
I see a crocodile.
When they hear ideas that are shared by students, it inspires their own ideas. And it's like little sparks that sort of catch and move through the class or move through the students as they think. Nina?
It looks like a zebra.
What makes you say
white. They look like Japanese words.
What looks like Japanese words?
Some looks like Japanese words, like this one.
What is it you're looking at that looks like Japanese words? Mert, have you ever seen Japanese writing before?
Yes.
Is that what it reminds you of? If I were to tell you that this had nothing to do with an animal, what else do you think it might be about? What other explanation could you come up with for this painting? Mert?
I'm gonna tell a funny thing. It's about running, I think.
It's about running. Can you tell me more?
These things will have feet and do like this.
Sophia?
It reminds of my mommy's hair because they're a bit gray and white and black.
Any different ideas? Some of you said animals. Now we have the idea that it reminds Sophia of her mother's hair. Mert said it reminds him of people running. Milo?
It has a lot of movement.
How so? Can you explain to me? Tell me more.
Summer, this is with those and it looks like it's going like
Sophia?
It looks like skipping paint.
Why? What makes you say that?
Well, the lines remind me of skipping and happiness.
Why is that?
I don't know, but that just came to my mind.
Okay. I was really surprised by some of the children's responses, especially when they considered what it reminded them of. For example, Sophia saying that the picture reminded her of her mother's hair, the gray and the white and the black. So I wasn't surprised to get a lot of things like animal skin, or Dalmatians or zebras as comments for what they thought the painting was about. I was pleased to see Milo pick up on the fact that there was movement in the picture. And the more we do this routine in class, the more the children see this as a way of thinking, as a way of sharing information and sharing ideas together.
So as you saw in the video, the explanation game allows each one to say what comes in their mind. So if you see, the examples given was right from the hair to the language to the script to the animal running to movements, and teacher was asking them to explain it. So she was also finding out a reason. Explain, why do you see, what part of the image can you see that? The explanation thinking routine is an effective strategy for children to help them develop their reasoning and explanation skills. This routine encourages young learners to observe carefully, ask questions, think about possible reasons behind what they see or experience. Here's how the thinking routine works. You start with an observation. Children start by observing an object, picture, situation. The goal is to ask details and think what is happening. So what kind of a image did you see? So first you ask, kind of name it. Then what do you think is going on? Ask observations. The teacher will say, what do you think is going on? What do you see? Why do you say that? This question prompts the children to think what they are observing and start forming their explanations. For example, if they see a picture of a plant bending towards a window, they might say the plant is looking for sunlight. Children are encouraged to provide an explanation for what they think is happening. This step involves them to share their ideas, thoughts about what they have seen. They might say, I think the plant is bending because it needs sunlight to grow. This steps helps them to develop their ability to reason and articulate their thinking. The teacher then follows up with the question, why do you think so? Because even in the video we saw, she was asking them, which part of the picture made you feel that? Why did you think so? This question encourages children to provide evidence and reasoning for their explanation. It pushes them to think more deeply about their initial observation and explanation, fostering critical thinking skills. The teacher can guide them to explore further by asking additional questions or providing new information. Like in this video, we saw if this picture does not look like an animal, what else can you think? That might challenge and extend their thinking. This step helps keep the inquiry process dynamic and encourages children to refine their explanation and consider alternative perspective. This is yet another thinking routine. Look at this picture. What do you see? What do you think? Responses could be women in saris, flowers in their hands, walking towards something. What do you see? Then, what is puzzling about the picture? Questions could be why they are doing, where they are going, where they are walking. Questions that need answers. Next, we would explore. Then we move to explore where we get answers to the puzzling question. We could read, consult someone, ask, use the technology. This basically image is an image of a festival called Chhat Puja, which is dedicated to the god of sun. And millions of people take a dip in the foamy polluted water of Yamuna river to offer their prayers. This ritual requires worshippers to fast, abstain from drinking, and stand on the river banks for a long time without bathing in its cold water. As for the mysterious foam is in the image, it looks like soap, mountain of snow, but actually it's pollution from the sewage water flowing into the Yamuna river. This was about the Think Puzzle Explore image. The image represented the Think Puzzle Explore thinking routine. It's a versatile tool that teachers use to encourage deep thinking curiosity among children while exploring images. This routine helps children articulate what they already know, identify areas of curiosity, and consider ways to find out more about a topic. The think prompt: what do you think you know about the image? The goal is basically to activate the prior knowledge and bring to light students' assumption and preconceptions about the topic. The puzzle: what does the image puzzle you? Invite the children to ask questions about the image. This could also have their understanding and make them more curious. Like here, it was snow, it was cotton, it was water. That was puzzling. The goal here is to encourage curiosity and critical thinking. It helps students recognize gaps in their knowledge and express their natural sense of wonder. The explore: what do you want to explore or what do you want to know more about the image? This goal promotes a mindset of inquiry and exploration. It encourages students to take steps in their learning journey by suggesting ways to investigate their questions. This is a worksheet that we did in the class from the pilot testing where an image was given. So you see, each child has labeled or suggested a different thing that they think about the image. One child felt it was a dolphin, the other one the whale, the third one the elephant. So here there is no right or wrong answer. It is what they think about the image, what puzzles them, and what they explore about the image. This is yet another thinking routine called Generate, Sort, Connect, and Elaborate. It is a structured approach designed to nurture organizational and critical thinking skill. This routine encourages children to approach thinking in a systematic way, allowing them to develop higher level cognitive abilities. Generate. We start with generate. In this step, children are encouraged to brainstorm and freely generate a variety of ideas, thoughts about a specific topic or question. This phase allows for creativity and divergent thinking. Sort. After generating ideas, the next phase is sorting these ideas into categories or groups. Sorting helps children begin to organize their thoughts, which is a key aspect of developing organizational skills. Connect. In this step, children are encouraged to connect their sorted ideas with one another, helping them see relationship, links, common theme across the category they've created. In early education, children might connect ideas by drawing lines between related pictures, explaining similarities, or simply using cause and effect reasoning. Finally, elaborate. Elaborating involves expanding on the ideas they've sorted connected by adding more details or explaining their reasoning. It strengthens their communication skill by encouraging them to express and explain their ideas in more details. This is one activity that was done in school where the topic was taken as my senses. The question was, what do you think you see in this picture? This step encourages creativity, free thinking, allowing children to express their knowledge, imagination without restriction. The aim is to generate wide ideas. So, what do you think about the senses were all put there? How do you group these ideas? Sorting helps them develop classification and organization skills, helping them to understand and sort information meaningfully. This step fosters their ability to recognize pattern and relationship in different activities. Elaborate is, can you tell me something more about this category? Elaboration encourages deeper thinking, understanding, helps children move beyond surface level observation, explore their ideas fully, enhance their reasoning and communication skills. This was a worksheet done in the class where we had asked them to categorize the land, water, and air animals. Now, look at the kind of drawings they have done. Some drawings we really don't understand also what it is done, but here we are not really, seeing their drawing skills, but we are seeing their concept clarity. So, the teacher's documentation is very, very important. Another very important thing is, as teachers, there's certain aspects we have to be very, very careful about. Model the process, demonstrate how to generate ideas, sort them into categories and groups, elaborate on these groups. This will help children understand the routine better. Encourage group work. Let children work in smaller groups to generate, sort, and elaborate ideas. This promotes collaboration and allows them to learn from each other. Use simple language, simple age appropriate language to help children understand the routine. Make it fun. Incorporate games, storytelling into the routine, engaging for the children. For example, turn the sorting process into a game where children catch the right animal to place it in each habitat. Thank you. This is the second part of thinking routines. So we begin with 3 to 1 bridge. This thinking routine, which is 3 to 1, can be used at the end of the topic. 3 years stands for 3 words or 3 thoughts or 3 facts that come to your mind related to the topic. 2 is for the 2 questions that you have for the topic. And 1 is for the analogy, simile, what you like to compare the topic to, or one aspect that you've enjoyed the most about the topic. I'll take you through a video where 3 to 1 has been conducted in the class. So here we see how children were totally involved, but the teacher needs to probe them. So there's a lot of probing required because forming a question takes a little time for the children. Now, an example of a 3 to 1 done in the classroom: 3 words, 2 questions, and 1 comparison. So teacher has done a documentation like this along with the child's name. So once we place this in a display in the class, the children see it very often, and also they want their name to be there. So next time they will participate and answer. The next routine is I used to think, now I think. Now, this routine is about the initial thoughts where the teacher can start by asking thinkers to describe what they thought earlier before they knew about the topic they were learning. And then the teacher engages a thinker in a lesson or an activity that introduces new information related to the topic. The next step is more like a reflection. Once the thinkers have learnt about the topic, they have to revisit their initial thoughts and share how their understanding has changed. This helps them to express what they have learned. You might be surprised by the answers that the children have given in the pilot testing. For example, I thought cows had 1 stomach, but now I know they have 4 compartments in their stomach. I thought plains and mountains mean the same, but now I know the plains are flat area. Few of the worksheet examples done in the class. The story was the ugly duckling. So we did about the eggs that were laid and how the swan was mistaken by the ducklings who were growing up. And then the teacher asked them to imagine and think what are different types of eggs the hen can lay. So you can see that the children have been very creative and imaginative, where they also have happy eggs and coffee eggs and candy eggs. So they have been very imaginative in their thoughts. So earlier they thought that eggs could be only white, but then they imagined that there could also be different kinds of eggs. How else and why? This thinking routine encourages students to think creatively and consider alternate explanation. A challenge is presented. It could be a simple object, a concept, a situation that is open to interpretation. For example, show a pencil and ask, how else could we use this pencil? The next stage is like an exploration where the thinkers are encouraged to think of different objects and the way to use it. Encourage them to explore unconventional ideas and challenges. Ask children to explain their reasoning. Encourage them to articulate why their alternate explanations might be valid, even if they are different from the norms. There is one more example like we are showing here. How else would you utilize your time if you were not watching cricket, not watching TV? So they could play cricket, they could play a game, they could go outdoor, they could draw. So these are the other ways they would do if they were not doing watching the TV. The next thinking routine is color, symbol, image. This routine encourages students to deepen their understanding of the concept by associating with visual representation. It allows them to express their understanding in a creative way and make connections through their chosen activity. Like we can begin this by introducing a concept like your favorite color, friendship, what is kindness, what is cruelty. Ask thinkers to choose a color that represents the concept to them. Encourage them to explain their reasoning. Have thinkers draw or choose a symbol that represents the concept. Discuss the significance of the chosen symbol. Guide thinkers to find or draw an image that represents the concept. Encourage them to share why they chose that particular concept. So basically, if I say danger, somewhere down the line we all associate red color with danger. We know the symbol of danger and the image of danger. So we are just trying to think of a bigger idea and then associate it with that so that it retains, the learning retains with us for a longer time. The next thinking routine is circle of action. In this thinking routine, thinkers' disposition and motivation to take action in person, local, and global sprees. Now you see there are three circles on the screen. First is self, then is local, maybe your family, your neighbors, and then comes the society or your community. It prepares them to weigh the course of action and their consequences to self and to the larger group. So, for example, if I take conservation of nature, so what would I do myself? What would I encourage my family to do? And what would I encourage as a whole society to do? There is an example. Care for the environment at three levels: self, family, and community. Self would be turn off the lights or save water. Family could be recycle at home, use cloth bags, participate in a cleanup drive. So that's how the whole community gets benefited by it. The next thinking routine is creative hunt. Creative hunt encourages children to look for interesting and unusual or creative element in their environment, helping them to develop their imagination and problem solving abilities. Creative hunt routine is flexible and can be applied to a variety of subjects. This helps children to develop both critical and creative thinking skills. Children are asked to make connection between what they observed and their previous knowledge. See, if you see now, we've given them numbers. They have to make something out of the numbers. Like number one, the child has made a candle. Number two, a duck or a swan. Number three, a butterfly. So we are asking them to create something from what has actually been given to them. Not all children would create the same thing of the same number given to them. It depends upon their creativity. Step inside. This thinking routine asks children to step inside the role of a character or an object or a picture that you're looking at or a story that you have read to them. Imagine themselves inside that point of view. For instance, imagining oneself as a animal, a character of the story. How does he feel? Thinkers are encouraged to speak, draw, and write their point of view. This routine works well when you want children to open up their thinking and look at things differently. It can be used as an initial kind of problem solving brainstorming activity where the child opens up to the topic or the issue. It can be used to make abstract concepts, pictures, or events come more to life. The step inside thinking routine deepens the child's thinking and understanding about a person. Sometimes they may not be able to relate to a story or a character's behavior in that story. So, when they get into that character, it becomes easy for them. These are few of the worksheet examples where we had asked them to step inside any one of the family members' role. So you see, one child has said daddy, one has said mommy, and they have also, teacher has documented what the child has said about their family member. Yet another thinking routine is question starts. This routine can be used when you are introducing a new topic to help thinkers get a sense of the topic. It can also be used when you are in the middle of the topic as a way of enlivening students' curiosity. And it can be also used at the end of the topic as a way of showing how the knowledge they have gained about the topic helps them to ask interesting questions. How many children are there in the picture? How many kites? Do all the children have kites? How could a child lose a kite? What would you do if you lose a kite? Draw a string to the matching kite. This routine can be used continuously throughout the topic, evolving the list of questions about the topic that can be added at any time. One plus routine, yet another thinking routine. Add your ideas to something that somebody has already said. It can be used as a revision after the topic is completed, where each child will add on to the topic. A classic example for this is building up a story. So I went to the garden. I saw a seesaw. The third child will say, I played with Kavita on the seesaw. Kavita and I had ice cream after playing. So it's just building on to that story. Circle of viewpoint is yet another thinking routine. This thinking routine can be used to open discussions of any situation or dilemmas. It is used at the time when the children need to understand different perspectives of a situation. It can be related to characters, topics, situation. Teacher can probe by asking questions. In the story Goldilocks, think of the behavior from different perspective. Why do you think the papa bear said this? Why do you think the baby bear did this? So different perspectives with different viewpoints. Yet another thinking routine is headlines. This is about giving a topic to the picture, to the story, or summarizing or capturing the key aspect of whatever is significant. So if it is read a story, give it a title. If it is a text, give it a title. It focuses on summarizing skills so that the gist of the idea has been pulled out. Next thinking routine is red light and yellow light. This thinking routine is just like the traffic lights. Yellow light thinking focuses on moving forward in a positive direction, and red light thinking dwells on negative and puts up obstacles and finding solutions. This is moreover like red light is like a problem, and yellow light is finding solutions and being positive about it. This helps in decision making flexibility. Like, suppose if a problem arises, the child's toy is broken. What are the solutions for that? I may cry, I may look for another toy, I may play for another toy, I may request my parents to buy me another toy. So, there are more solutions, and we have to look for that rather than focusing on the red light or the problem. The next thinking routine is chalk talk, an activity that provides all the children the opportunity to reflect on what they know and then share their thinking and wondering while connecting their thoughts to their classmates' thoughts. So this worksheet given to them was from the market, what would I like to buy? So each one's drawing is very different from what they want to buy. The child's drawing may not look very appropriate, like an ice cream is not looking like an ice cream, but it's okay. So the idea is more to allow the child to share their thinking and connecting their thoughts. So that's more important. And what's more important for us is to make the thinking visible. Display the child's answers, thoughts, questions along with their name. Let the walls of the classroom speak. Let them say that we have thinkers in the classroom and we take thoughtful decisions and sharing our ideas. So, if we follow our thinking routines well, we will end up seeing our children has unlimited possibilities.
Saying what?